Hello, hello. You beautiful soul. Ooh, Spirit said, you play too much. Spirit's like, you play too much. I know Spirit told me this, but this this was a message Spirit was like, this is for more than one person. This is for a collective of people. Um, and really it was ultimately about giving yourself grace, right? And also being as the child, right? Just like holding that space for yourself to be a human that makes mistakes, right? To be the child that doesn't listen the first time to the parent and has to learn the hard way, right? That is me all day long. I don't care what anybody tells me. I will always do exactly what I want to do, exactly when I want to do it, exactly the way I want to do it. Right? Like tell me you're not that type of person. And if you're not, this message isn't for you, because this is exactly the person that this message is for. You are like hard-headed, right? But it's all for the greater good. It's all for the experience, right? Like Spirit was saying, you are the, all right, let's fuck around. And your higher self is like, you're about to find out, right? Like you're the fuck around to the find out. And then when you put it together, you are the fuck around and find out. Like you fuck around and you find out. And in doing that, you have to give yourself grace whenever you learn a hard lesson, right? Like so much grace. There's so much room for grace and compassion here. And I know sometimes whenever we're on our spiritual journey, we can get so like, amped up and just like mission driven and like ready to just take on the whole world and all this stuff. And sometimes you're just not ready, right? Sometimes you just need a little bit more practice, right? Because this is a game that we're playing here. And some people are naturals, right? But some people do need to practice a little bit more, right? Really hone in on those skills and see where your natural strengths are and, your natural weaknesses, and really strengthen those strengths and allow those weaknesses to exist also, right? Spirit was telling me today that I play too much, and because Spirit's like, every once in a while my team will like, my spirit team will be like, hey, right? It's just my higher self. It's like, hey, sis, you hear me? And then I have another friend that I communicate with telepathically, and I can hear them too being like, can you hear me? And I'm like, yeah, I hear you, bro. And it's like, but Spirit was telling me today, tuning in, and Spirit was like, do you hear me? And I'm like, yes, I hear you. Spirit's like, why don't you be listening then? Right? How come you don't listen, Candice? I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I don't want to. And Spirit's like, you play too much. That's what it is. And I'm like, yeah, I am the high priestess of play. Right? I am the high priestess of play. You want to talk about play? I came here to play. I came here to handle business, but I can tell you right now that you can handle business and you can have fun while doing it, right? Whistle while you work type of energy. And Spirit just like gets so frustrated with me sometimes because I don't even care. Playing all day, laughing and joking. And I actually told someone today who I spoke with on their lunch break, who was having a hard time at work and just like giving and giving and giving too much and putting forth so much effort on a project that is, very important to them and to the company. And, but they're just feeling drained. They're feeling a lack of balance and reciprocity, right? And so I'm like, go back from lunch and be as a child, right? I was like, anchor that heaven on earth energy in, like, be the kingdom of God, like it is inside of you. But in order to really tap into that, you have to be as a child, right? You have to be playful. You have to be able to see the humor in things and see the humor in your own situation. Like, see the humor in your mistakes, right? Like, not pointing and laughing at yourself, like, oh, in a harmful way, but just like, hee, that was silly, wasn't it? Right? They were like, that was a little silly moment we had there, but we learned a powerful lesson. And it is that energy of like being able to handle business, right? Get the job done, but still have, like a chill, childlike attitude, where you can add the playful tone to the atmosphere, right? And I love it. I love this message for whoever this is for. I was feeling this today. And I've been feeling it for a couple of days, but today I felt was the day that somebody really, really needed to hear this message. And I've been feeling my dad around a lot, and there's a man who just rode by that looked just like him on a bike that's very similar to his. So that's wonderful. And my ear's been ringing like crazy. So these are all just signs and synchronicities that might mean something to somebody. But anyways, either way, you're amazing, you're powerful, you're needed, you're wanted, right? All the steps that you're taking are divinely aligned. It's all divinely orchestrated. It's all part of the dance, right? And some of us like to take the scenic route. That's how Spirit was talking to me earlier. Spirit's like, you play too much. And I'm like, but I want to explore the whole playground, right? I want to go down the slide. I want to go up the rock wall. I want to go way too high on the swings and jump off and roll and all that kind of stuff, because I want to know what it feels like. I want to know what it is, right? In the experience of it. I don't want to just read about it. I don't want to just watch it on the TV. I want to experience it, right? And you're that type of person where you were here for the experience. You're here for the experience. Period. We all are, right? But whoever this message is for, like, that you're here for the experience, and maybe sometimes you get caught up in the mission part of the experience and don't allow yourself to just have fun and play and make mistakes and learn from them, because that's the most important part. Like, there are no mistakes. You can't mess up. You just can't. There's nothing you can do to mess up so long as you are learning from it, right? Oh man, I love you. You're amazing. And I hope that you're already having a playful day and have already stepped into this energy, and this is just popping up to serve as confirmation for you that you are you are integrating, right? Embodying through compassion, acceptance, and grace for oneself and for one's experience, right? For one's strengths, for one's weaknesses. And right now I'm just being reminded about how a teaching that I was given by the medicine woman who awakened me was about art, and how whenever we create like a work of art, there's always this little mistake in it, and that is like a representation in a place where our soul can escape and just represent our humanity, right? Like, represent the piece of us that isn't perfect, because we're not perfect here. And that's actually why we came here. We came here so we could experience what it's like to not be perfect. And because a lot of us don't know that, there's so much shame. And that's why people have been able to hold power over others through fear, shame, and guilt, right? But you're moving out of that, and you're allowing yourself to just be a human, right? And make the mistakes and see the humor in it. Just like you would in a child, they make a silly mistake and you're just like, you know, you don't have to scold them. They learned their lesson, right? They realized like that maybe wasn't a good idea. That's actually what I tell my kids all the time. They make silly mistakes and I'm like, do you think that was the best decision? And they're like, no, it really wasn't. Even my 3-year-olds, okay, my 3-year-olds are smart enough to answer that question. Right? And that's the easiest way for me to allow them room to even learn the lesson, right? Give them space by prompting them with a Do you think that was a good decision? Like, do you think that was a good idea? Instead of scolding them, instead of, trying to tell them what the lesson was, I asked them, was that a good idea? Right? And then they're like, no. I'll watch their little brains work, and they're it's like, you know, they're thinking hard. Sometimes they'll flat out tell me, yeah, that was not a good idea because of this. Sometimes it's obvious, right? Like if they fall down and hurt themselves after I told them what could happen, the potential. And, and then they experience that and they're like, yeah, I get it now. Like, I see why you suggested that I didn't do that, right? Because you were trying to protect me. And that's all that it is. Like, with our higher selves in our guidance system, it's constantly suggesting to us what would be an aligned action, right? And most of us do really, really well in following that, but there are moments where we're like 11:11 as I look up, where we're like, I don't know, I kind of want to try something else, right? Like I kind of want to experiment here a little bit. And there's so much room for experimentation. Like we came here to experiment as humans, fuck around, find out, see what happens, right? And and that's just what kids do, right? Kids do the same thing on the playground, and it's kind of like we're all children of God on this playground that has been created for us to experience what it's like to not be perfect, right? To still be divine, right? Because we're all divine, but we don't have to be perfect. And we can laugh at ourselves all the time. I laugh at myself on a daily. Partly because I am absolutely hilarious. I think I'm one of the funniest people that I personally know. So I make myself laugh nonstop. But then whenever I make a mistake or do something dumb, yeah, I'm laughing at myself because I'm like, oh, right? Better luck next time, sis. So, anyways, lots of rambling and lots of words, but I love you either way. And you're doing fantastic. No matter what, you're doing fantastic. If you're seeing this, then you're on it. So, I love you so much. Have a wonderful day.